Okay, we're ready to start putting in the balusters. And what I'm going to use for the balusters is I've got these oak 2x2s. They're actually 1.5 inches, but off the shelf 2x2 oak. And I'm going to have one here and one here, and then dress it up in the middle with a metal, decorative baluster. Before I can do that, you got to lay out where those balusters are going to go and still keep it within code. For me, I can't have a spacing more than 4 inches. So, a lot of math. You can't just take this knee wall and divide by the number of balusters and have it work out, because you get in there again, you get into these angles and it all gets hinky. Because this distance is greater than this distance, and just trust me, it'll be all jacked up. I don't know why, but it will be. So a good way to do that, you can go online and search for baluster calculator, and you'll find all kinds of these calculators that'll get you in the ballpark. It takes into account your span and your angle and all that kind of stuff. I did that, laid it out, took a piece of scrap, put some double-sided tape on the bottom of them, and just kind of laid them into place, and then I started measuring. And I was in the ballpark, but I still had to, make some adjustments. So I finally got it all laid out and marked. So what I got to do now is go ahead and, make the cuts. I know that this angle, I've been working, it's been 36.5 to 37 degrees on these angles, so that's what this one worked out to, is 37. So what I need to do is, I already cut this end, is lay it into place and make sure that I'm, level, which I am, and go ahead and mark it. And I've got a mark right here, and that puts me in the ballpark. I'm not going to cut to this line. I'm going to cut it heavy, because like I was saying before, with these angles, you cut too much and you're off instantly by 1/2 inch or something like that. So I'm going to probably cut this thing 5 times and keep shaving it down until I get it exactly where it needs to be. So let me go ahead and do that, and we'll lay them into place and see how they turn out. Okay, so I've cut my baluster, and another good reason for cutting that baluster a little bit heavy is because when you first lay it up in there, you'll be able to tell if you need to adjust the angle of your cut a little bit. And I had to just a smidge change the angle of the cut on the top. A good thing you can do, since if you're working all the time by yourself like I am, and you don't have enough hands to keep up with everything, what you can do is take your square and lay it across the line where your baluster is gonna go, and then clamp it into place, and that makes a little cleat, so when you stick your baluster in place, it'll hold it there. And you can hold it in place up here, put the level to it, and I don't know how that could be any more perfecter. So that one is done. Now I think what I'm going to do on this, I think I'm going to go ahead and put the stain and poly on this before I actually assemble the whole thing together. It might make it a little bit easier. I did the other one the opposite way, so I'm going to have to deal with taking it back apart to stain it. But once I get it stained and polished, what I'm going to do is I'll come in here with a pin nailer and just kind of pin the edges there just to hold it in place. Then I'll come underneath and I'll run a wood screw up this way, and then I'll come in this little sleeve that we made and run another screw, and it'll be really snug. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the other baluster, and I'll probably go ahead and at least lay out where this iron or this metal baluster is going to go. Then I'll kind of stop what I'm doing and go ahead and get this stained and polished so that when it's done, it's done. Okay, I got the stain on it and got it put back into place. I pin nailed it just to hold the balusters in place. And what I'm going to do is take one of these trim screws. There's that little bitty head on it. And I'm going to just run it right down into the baluster, and that'll stiffen it up on the top. I'll take it off, flip it over, do the same thing coming up from the bottom. You remember I've already drilled a pilot hole, so it'll be pretty straightforward. Just take it real slow. And the thing about those trim screws is you can countersink them. Just going real slow so I don't torque that thing out. I'll go ahead and do this one and do the bottom, and we're ready to put some poly on this thing. These trim screws are real good because they get such a tiny little head on it, you can countersink them. So now I'll go ahead and do the bottom, and I'm ready to go ahead and put polyurethane on this. When I lay the handrail in, the way that it secures, I'm just going to come up underneath it and hit it with a couple of 18 gauge nails. It'll keep it in place, so let's keep moving. Well, we're done, and I'm real pleased with how it turned out. It's hard to get a camera shot in here. It's just so narrow, so I put the wide angle on the camera, and hopefully you can, hopefully it'll capture the essence of what I'm trying to show you. I went ahead and stained it and laid the poly to it, and I'm real pleased with how the finish turned out. It matches up really good with the stair treads and really good with the hardwood upstairs. So real pleased, just a real good professional looking finish on it. You know, this is just standard off-the-shelf handrail, but we dressed it up with this trim piece here. So it's kind of off-the-shelf, but it's kind of custom too. These posts off the shelf. Went ahead and put in this metal baluster. And the whole assembly is, you know, it's really strong. It's got a little bit of a wiggle in it, but it's mostly because this newel post needs to be firmed up a little bit. It's strong, it's secure, it's safe, it's not going to come out accidentally. It can't come out this way. You're not going to be walking down through here and accidentally pull up on it and it fly apart, because the weight of this assembly is bearing down. It's not going to come out down here because there's a cleat that's holding it in place. But if we ever need to move a couch up through here, you know, the newel post will come out, and this entire assembly here will just slide right out, just like this. It's a little more of a challenge to put it back in. That's okay. Hopefully, over time, we won't be having to do this a whole lot. But with a little bit of work and getting it lined up really good, it will eventually slide. This is for the blooper reel. There, slide right back into place. You got to get it lined up on those tracks and also get the cleat lined up. But yeah, it'll go right back in with a little bit of effort, but it'll be easy to do. So I think this is redneck engineering and redneck ingenuity at its very finest. Don't forget, when you do your projects, find a place underneath somewhere that's not going to be readily seen, and go ahead and sign your work. Put something on there like, you know, this handrail was built by Marcellus Wallace in April 2013. That way, you know, 50 years from now, your grandkids will be tearing the place apart and they'll see that and they'll say, yeah, it's pretty cool, Papa built that handrail. So, hope you got some ideas from it. If you have better ideas, I'd like to hear them. And, you know, share with the YouTube community so we can all come up with good ideas and make cool projects. This was something we built on our own with our own hands and our tools and our shop. Can't buy it off, you know, made in People's Republic kind of stuff, so we can be proud of it. If you like the video, remember to give me a thumbs up, give me some comments, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.